I had a request to talk about what is going on in the world today. My first response was, where to begin? There is so much going on in so many parts of the world. The people of the world have been put under a spell of deceit for a long time. The people of the world are now experiencing an awakening from the spell of confusion and fear. There's a lot that needs to be known for this process to succeed. The process is not easy. I will give a broad brush picture of what's going on. We do not know what is real or what is fake anymore. Things just do not seem right. Humans have drawn a line in the sand. That line divides a slavery system versus a free will system. The slave system that most of us are living under has a chokehold on humanity. Our emotions are reduced to fear, stress, and anxiety, and there is a weakening of the body's immunity and the ability to be rational and access reason. It is as if some unnatural force, an ill wind, has blown onto the world. As we see more clearly, the wind of ill is a death song to human life as we know it. Humanity is now breaking out of this system due to an exposure to the fraud and the eyes that are awakening to see. This unnatural force has been here for a long time. Do you recall the saying, history repeats itself? And if one does not learn from history, one has to repeat it? Each time this rerun is played with a different costume and backdrop, it gets worse for humanity. We are tricked, told lies, then often a solution that always enslaves us just a little more. Here we are now, poised to go around the merry-go-round one more time. This time there is something vastly different happening. The force of ill wind has captured all nations. However, the door is still open in America. The sleeping masses worldwide have awakened to the realization that their freedom and their lives are at stake and are depending on America to free them from this beast. The beast is being slain, however, the death throngs are dangerous and violent. The ripples of this battle are felt the world over. The fork in the road is here, the storm is upon us. It is time to make a choice to either repeat history, which will be the end of humanity, or change the trajectory of history, which in some ways can be imagined as taking a new timeline. One thing that all people can understand is there are governments in place. Governments that, for the most part, are controlled by a group of people who call themselves the political class, the experts, the ones who are the authority of everything, who supposedly know better than you about how you should and shouldn't live, think, speak, read, study, etc. Those who have gained the understanding of events see this political and self-appointing God group as interspecies predators who find wealth in the blood of war and death of humanity in many ways. The elite see themselves as superior to human beings. Their trickery and spell casting with words is so convincing and controlling that they have somehow convinced that the bleeders need to pay them to bleed. There are many different opinions as to who these people are, and that is another topic. One thing that is absolute about these creatures is they are rabid about holding power and controlling humanity, as if we are animals to be at the pleasure of their abuse. We need to expand our thinking to be able to grasp the theater of the world that is playing today. Please be assured, good and the light has already won, even though there are some very strange things going on as the two paths, the two timelines become more separated. Speaking metaphorically, we are beginning to see the difference between the disease and the nutrients. The theater we are in at this present time is dangerous and elating, depending on what the eyes can see and the understanding we hold. America is the last to be conquered. The self-appointed have been setting the stage walking us into the trap for many centuries, changing our history, dumbing down the schools, perverting the innocent, and displaying a lot of fear and trauma to keep us emotional victims, passive, and following orders. These creatures do not have the best interest for human beings. All they see is their own power and wealth at the cost of humanity. This is a fight for power, and the contrast is becoming clear as more is exposed every day. Will it be power of the people and what we can create in our world, or power by the ill winds of death and destruction of imposters and liars? It is an exciting time to live when one grasps the story never told. It is serious, yet all we will see is the strength humanity has and the weakness of the wicked as our understanding grows. From that perspective, let me comb through this and untangle some questions that are on many people's minds as far as what we are experiencing in the attempt by the controllers to subdue and take over humanity. I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm asking you to listen, to ponder, and to do some of your own work to educate yourselves to what has been suppressed. I am asking you to discern and to reason. For it is in obtaining knowledge that we find the nectar of a free, independent, and self-realized human, choosing to live in a civil and peaceful society. A civil and peaceful society is one which the moral compass is respected, and there is a loyalty to a set of rules that assures all have equal rights and opportunities. With these parameters, we are each responsible for the destiny of our individual paths. Comparing ourselves to others leads to insecurity, jealousy, and all the emotions that feed us into misery. It is the comparison that leads people to be the way someone else sees how humanity should live, meaning to go along to get along, to satisfy the herd mentality, and to disconnect from ourselves because of emotional traumas blocking our excellence and creativity. It is not reality nor healthy to create a mask for others to approve of. Rather, we should approve of our own lives and talents no matter what others say or think. Then we can better appreciate others' gifts and contributions toward unity and peace. The inner harmony will determine the outer situation. The inside part is our individual right to exist in peace, honoring the rule of law that ensures life. We must make choices with the full intent to be responsible on the journey of our self-realization. We come here in different situations. These situations are what we need to learn from as we grow and understand what it is to be human. That can never be made equal, as individual paths we choose are necessary for our individual growth. It is the outside struggles through experience that strengthens the inside world of I. It is the integrating who we are and removing the mask which keeps us subdued and detached from ourselves that we can embrace who we truly are. It is the experiential part of our growth to struggle, to be disappointed, to be angry, frustrated, or sad. It all compiles within us to guide us toward finding the construct of the world we have known for so many centuries and change that outcome for the family known as mankind. These inner experiences and difficulties work to make us stronger and teach us to remove our mask and to step into the strength and beauty mankind was intended to be. To step up to the task of becoming excellent in our personal contributions and talents and to ourselves is to develop into the amazing race of mankind that can roam the universe with galactic wizardry. Due to our suppressed condition, we know not of this amazing galactic wizardry, at least not yet. So how is this relating to what's going on today? History is always repeating itself. There have always been times when humanity chooses not to suffer the whims of the controllers, and the people rise. Then change happens. Throughout history, as mankind tolerated all the control and abuse that was sufferable, they would rise and see change for a short while. The monsters would quietly leave remnants behind to sow seeds of destruction that continue the bending of the ways back to the controlled scenario. Plus, there was more nations to control, other people to destroy, as you can see on a map, which shows the changing of the conquering and the conquered the world over for eons. That is what is happening in America today. The ill-intended have declared war, and we are in it right now. So far, this war has not spilled much blood yet. It is the hope of many that we can restore the document that gave us freedom without a battle. However, beasts seldom surrender willingly. Beasts will never change. They need to be dealt with, or we can never have peace on earth. That is not pretty, but it is a part of the cost of society with intentions of peace. As bad as this sounds, what is the choice? Do we allow lockdowns and close businesses and destroy lives of independent people? Or do we deal with those who are creating harm and abuse on humanity, allowing the crimes against humanity to continue? What we have seen is a beginning to an overthrow of a nation. This has happened worldwide as the endless wars were to overthrow civil societies and implant a corrupt interspecies predator to be the kind and benevolent dictator. Now that the threat is being attempted in America, we see the repeat of history by the statues being torn down, the old artifacts ruined or stolen, businesses torched by the mercenaries who were hired to do the destruction, and the endless stories made up to shape an event to fit their narrative. They cannot tell the truth because they create the conflict and destruction. Through the media, they control what people hear, censor what will expose their wrongdoings. They lock us up under a planned threat and orchestrate their narrative to keep people in fear. They want people obedient, managed, and under their thumb. After all, we are just animals in the eyes of these interspecies predators. This is basically what is going on in the world today. This has been going on for a long time. In 1948, the National Security Act was initiated to hide the crimes that were being committed. This is not about either party or a particular personality. This is about a life of peace or eternal war and death. This is the fork in the road, the fork between two timelines, if you will, and all have a choice to choose. This disease has infected and spread into our system. The Bill of Rights and the Constitution is being ignored by those who thirst for power. These seditious maybe elected leaders who we gave our trust to tipped the scales for those who were willing to be on the criminal activity and take positions of power. Those who were bribed and blackmailed are now in positions of power, making decisions according to those who have plans to sell out America, flushing our freedoms down the drain. As they are exposed, you will be shocked to learn how many have been involved with selling America to the globalists. You are going to see and be disappointed in people you trusted to take care of the business of the state of the nation. You will see the strength of integrity when the power of the people has chosen to take a stand for our freedom to exist under the rule of law. Those people of power are you. It's you. It is you. It is all of us who want freedom and to live our lives in peace. Some may say, well, why is not this or that being done? That is frustrating for many. Americans have been lulled to sleep slowly and steadily by a narrative that sleepwalkers have agreed with for a long time. The hypnotic trance is strong. It divides us rather than unifies us. We have those who know what is going on, and we have those who are listening to the story. With emotions all confused, it is, in my eyes, abusive to the people in many ways. It accomplishes compliance. Those who have challenged the controls that have been sneaking into our way of life are met by accusations of being conspiracy theorists. They're called names, they're isolated, they're silenced, and some are even murdered after the world is told they are crazy and dangerous, when in fact, they are the voices crying out in the wilderness. We are walking into danger. Revealing these truths is dangerous to those of ill intent. Truth is the first casualty, and it is not allowed to be resuscitated. So the hypnotic suggestions take over the emotions, and the entire physical system is compromised into ill health. Our passivity and victimhood are their goal, for they want a compliant society who will do as they are told. That is made possible by a population who are ignorant to the reality of life, and worse, have little or no desire to change anything because the comfort is worth more than freedom. That is also called the bliss of ignorance. Worse yet, most have no clue just how compromised they are because of the emotional trauma and often repeated promise to keep everyone safe. The emotional trauma has been played out many times over and over again in the media, showing all these staged shootings, which are false flags. All the things that are purposely done to pull your fear trigger and sell you on keeping you safe as they incarcerate you more. Just give up your will. Trust us. We are the government. The very word government should make all of us shake in our boot. The word government means mind control. It is etymologically originated from the Latin language. It splits into two words. One, guvernare. It means to control. And two, mens or mentis, meaning mind. So government means to control the mind. We are all mind controlled to a degree, and that is the absolute truth. Now the entire world is seeing what is going on in the dark, behind closed doors. The people were robbed by this group of people telling us lies that they care for us and will do this and that for us, all the while making their fortunes on the back of the human race. They want us to bleed for them. Humanity is rising, awakening, and fighting for what belongs to mankind. This is the time to practice discernment. That will come as inner standing grows. There was an election a few years back which broke the spell of the world existing as zombies. Humanity has entered into the beginning stages of the Great Awakening. Everything is being shaken up. The old empire is falling. The ones who have preyed on humanity are being exposed and soon will be severely dealt with. Those who have worked against humanity are being exposed. Those who are aligned with humanity are likewise being brought to our attention. We are seeing the divisive way the Republic was turned into two antagonistic parties. We do not need division. We need to follow the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. This document is what the world is begging for. Many people have come to America to seek freedom and self-realization, to live out their own lives under the agreement of this document, and to allow others to live in peace, seeking no harm towards others. It is a simple golden rule that has been put asunder by the very criminal and psychopathic, greedy power monsters. What is happening in the world is a great reset, but not the one envisioned by the dark side. We will soon learn just how many people were murdered due to their knowledge of the beast system and their attempt to expose the crimes. What is happening is mankind now must go inside themselves to ponder, face disappointments, the fear, the disgust of what has been going on hidden from our eyes, the lack of hope, and turn all that into strength. The most difficult thing that we face is the realization that we have been conned, lied to, and misled for a long time. It is easier to con someone than for them to admit that they have been conned. It is time for all of us to realize that what is happening today is the clash of two forces that are mortal enemies, one of the dark, one of the light. This is the battle between good and evil. Mankind's time has come to enter the golden reset of the Great Awakening. Discern those who point the finger to destroy another, and discern they are the guilty. Those destroying others are projecting their acts onto others. with full control of the information channels, pumping the same message over and over until it becomes the reality they want. Our eyes must see to become free. By spreading their propaganda rather than telling the truth, they have a numbing to all the negativity. They have created discouragement, and they have created a loss of hope. The manufactured narrative of the mainstream media then becomes the reality that is not backed by any sort of proof or documentation. This turns propaganda into consensus reality, which is not reality. It is a false reality based on fear needed to maintain the control. We will never be safe under their control. We will be dead. Humanity is hanging in the balance, living in a lie on one hand and fighting for truth to emerge on the other hand. I hope I was able to give you a different perspective of the situation we face today and how it boils down to each of us clearing out the fog and replacing it with the light of the inner standing. What is most important is discernment. Discernment will give us the knowledge and inner standing. We will know the truth as it is a resonance with the heart that burns like a memory where we had once lived in peace. We are coming back to that. The best is yet to come. Take disappointment without letting spirits fall. Never lose hope. Hope and faith have been squeezed out of our consciousness. Hold hope. Hold faith that humanity is cherished by our Creator, and He wants His most cherished race, the royal race, mankind, to be creative, inspired, kind, compassionate, and powerful beings we are intended to be. Let the ill wind blow out. Be prepared to recognize any attempt at it extending its tentacles to encapsulate us again into its grip of suffering. Stand firm and hold what is rightfully ours, and be not afraid. Give conversation to some of the events and the great successes humanity is entering. So if you are interested in gaining more understanding and knowledge about the construct of this age and time, just listen, ponder, discern, and see what resonates in the light. With that, I say thank you so much for being here, for making it all the way through this, and be powerful, be strong, and know that good is really coming, and it's going to be really, really good. So with that, thank you, have a great day, and goodbye.